Welcome back to 2K Away, you idiot. Let me try that again. Welcome back to 2K Away.
Sorry. I didn't know you were starting.
Well, welcome back. My name is Paige. This is my sister Peyton. We are 2,000 miles away from each other, and we talk about true crime and creepy shit. So the last 3 weeks have been real bad cases. So now we're back to creepy shit, because that's what I'm doing today, is lots of creepy things.
You said my name very aggressively, and Peyton.
I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm a very aggressive person in all things that I do. It literally doesn't matter what it is. I'm aggressive at it.
Talking,
Typing,
anything.
everything.
So because of these last 3 weeks have been like really heavy, we're gonna do 2 weeks of goofy because I think we all kind of need it.
We do.
So we want to make some dumb jokes.
We need to get back to that.
We like doing that once in a while, and you really can't do that when you're talking about murders.
No, especially the horrible ones that we just covered.
Yes, they were terrible.
Awful.
So bad.
So,
not that every murder's not terrible. Let me make that very clear.
You know, like the ones in way back, like long ago murders. Those aren't, according to Peyton.
I took it back.
But it's still out there.
Never mind.
Anyway, but Peyton does have something true crime-y to say, though.
Yes. The only bit of like business that I really had was I heard recently on the 12th, Ronnie Defeo Jr. passed away. And if that name is not familiar to you, he was the one, if anybody has seen Amityville Horror, he was the one that killed his whole family in the house that gave that house its origin story.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he killed his siblings and his parents, and that was the start of the Amityville Horror.
Yeah.
So,
good.
So
what did he die
passed
of?
Away. I didn't see that. I think just health. He died of health. He was 69, which doesn't seem that old, but he was also
really not.
Like, I know that's what you said, and I'm like, well, he was only 23 when he committed the murders.
Yeah.
And he's been in prison ever since. So
yeah, man.
Moving on.
So we're gonna go past the true crime stuff, and today I'm gonna talk about dolls and all kinds of creepy dolls from around the world. So my aim kind of was to do another episode similar to our Catacombs, Coffins, and Bones. That's what my aim was. So after I researched this first topic, I found my next topic, and I'm like, wait, those both have to do with dolls. So why don't I just look up more dolls? And I did. So if you're somebody that, gets creeped out by weird dolls, you should watch this. Because I'm going to be screen sharing because I've got some pictures to show and a whole nine.
Yeah, dolls are, I don't know what it is, but especially the like the porcelain dolls. I think they're weird. Yeah. Or like Sorry to American Girl, but I think they're creepy too.
Yeah. Well, the creepiest one I think are just the generic like baby dolls. Like plastic
hate
with the cloth bodies. You know what I mean?
No. You know what's the worst thing? Okay. So everybody knows that I'm not a kid person.
Yeah.
I think some of the worst things ever are kids' toys that make noise. And it's even worse if it's a baby doll that like cries or makes baby noises.
Yeah,
I can't do it. It creeps me out.
I'ma talk about something like that.
Damn it, Paige.
So, but here's the thing though. I can't start an episode about creepy dolls from around the world without talking about this first one, because it's the first thing that comes to everybody's mind when you think of a bunch of creepy dolls. It's the first thing when you type in creepy dolls on Google search. That's the first thing that's going to pop up. And that is the Island of the Dolls, aka La Isla de las Muñecas. So this island is just south of Mexico City. So it's covered in different types and sizes of super creepy dolls and parts of dolls. So it's not just like the entire doll. It was like arms and legs hanging here and there and just heads. And it's like any doll you can think of.
And they're everywhere.
Everywhere.
Like hanging from the trees. There's like a it's like there's like a shack on it too, right?
Yes. Hanging from the trees in the building. And I mean, they're all nasty now, covered in all kinds of crap like cobwebs. So makes it even creepier. So legend says that a little girl drowned under mysterious circumstances long time ago, and the dolls are possessed by her spirit.
Yes,
so
I've heard that.
Says that they will move their heads and arms and even open their creepy little eyes and like look at you and shit. No, thank you. So how'd these dolls get there? So it starts with a man named Don Julian Santana Barrera. He was the owner and caretaker of the island back in the 40s and 50s. So I read a little bit about him. So apparently he like left his wife and daughter to go to this island? ?
That's
I don't know.
No, you shouldn't do that.
He did.
Well, he shouldn't have.
Yep. Yeah. So, but the legend actually kind of came from him because he's the one that supposedly found the girl, but some people and like family members and things, they think that he was either hallucinating or just imagined this story in his head, but like he had an exact spot where he found her, like the whole nine.
Okay. So it's very possible that he created the legend.
Correct.
Okay.
But either way, he found a doll that he thought belonged to this girl, like in the water or something. So he hung it from a tree to honor her. I'm not sure how that would honor her, but that's what he did. Then apparently to keep the little girl's spirit away, he started to collect more and more dolls from anywhere he could find. I mean, anywhere and everywhere. Not like stores. No, this was like, oh, hey, there's a doll on the side of the road. I'm going to take it and hang it from my tree to keep this girl's spirit away. That's the thought process. So,
well, if she had question.
Okay. I'm not sure if I have the answer, but
so you're telling me that he thought that this little girl who already had a doll, he thought that buying a shitload of dolls would keep her away?
Finding them. He didn't buy a single doll.
It doesn't matter how he got them. So you're telling me that this man thought that having a shitload of dolls at this island would keep this little girl who supposedly had a doll away from the island?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I don't know the thought process there.
That's like, where's that island where it has like a bunch of pigs?
I don't remember, but I know it's in Spain or something, isn't it?
Yes. That's like me dying and then them getting even more pigs to keep me away.
True.
I'm coming to the island.
Yeah, or like hanging dog bones in a tree to keep the dogs away.
That seems a little counterproductive.
A little bit.
To me.
Anyway, so
Okay.
so he'd find like broken dolls, didn't matter in what state of disrepair they were in, he would take them, like garbage. I don't know if he just actually like went dumpster diving for these dolls, but like he
collected garbage dolls.
He did.
Okay.
He was said to even trade some of his produce for dolls. So I don't know if there was like little girls walking around and with their parents with their dolls, and he asked the mom like, here's some corn.
So now he's giving away his food.
Yeah. He was serious about collecting these dolls.
Okay.
So he devoted his entire life to collecting dolls and covering this entire island with these dolls. It was over 50 years that he did this. Right around 50-ish years. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
look, I guess if that's what you want to do with your life, by all means. Do what makes you happy, but I don't see the appeal.
I don't know. But his life ended kind of tragically though, because in 2001 he was found drowned in the canal in the exact same place where he said he found the girl.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So, but that's pretty much what I have on the Island of the Dolls. I'm not spending a ton of time on each topic, although there's one in particular that I want to spend a ton of time on, but I'm trying to keep this not super duper long.
Yeah.
Because I would like to show some pictures. So let me start screen sharing and I'll show you. Okay. So picture number 1. So this is Don Julian. That's him on the island. And you can kind of see back there's a few of the dolls that he has hung.
The garbage dolls.
The garbage dolls, yes. So that's fun. And I will be sharing all of these on Facebook in order that I'll be doing it. I've got it all labeled. So picture number 2. So there's that baby that's going to be, creeping into your soul.
Those look like human eyes.
I know. But see how dirty it is and nasty? I mean, the baby doesn't even have clothes.
Oh yeah, no, I hate that.
Yeah. And its arms are up like hold on.
It's coming at you.
Yeah. Wow, that got really glitchy there for a second. Anyway. So yeah, it's coming at you, coming to get you. And then here's where it gets, you can kind of see all of them. There's the shack. So, I mean, different sizes of dolls too. Like that's a person. But that's a big one there.
Or is it?
Yeah, so like that's a big one. That one you can see, that almost looks like an American Girl type of doll. Like you were talking about.
Because they're creepy.
Creepy. And then this is the last one that I have of this one. That is a thing of nightmares. Because the tree itself is all weird and bent and stuff. And then you go and add all these dolls into it.
Are they attached by like rope or strings?
Yeah.
Okay, because it looks like this one in the gray. I'm sorry for anybody that's just listening that's not actually like watching this. But it looks like
it's just hanging on by a
no,
branch.
It looks like they like impaled the head and put it on the branch like that.
You know what? Maybe he did that for that one. I don't know. But
you're like, ooh, this looks like a nice place.
Yeah, I don't know. But for the most part, that's a cherub. I just now realized that. That looks like a cherub, doesn't it? Because it looks like it's holding something. Maybe.
I can't see.
Just in general?
Yeah, my eyes don't work.
All right. So those are my pictures for the Island of the Dolls and my story about that. So the next place I'm going to be talking about is Nagoro, Japan. So Nagoro, or Nagoru, is a village in Japan that is known by a couple different names. Either the Nagoro Doll Village or Nagoro Scarecrow Village. Take your pick.
What? It's so different.
I know.
Okay.
So this is kind of it's an interesting story. So this little village is in the Aya Valley on the island of Shikoku in I don't know Japanese.
Sorry,
So
Japan.
I'm going to apologize to all of Japan.
It's like when we did Rasputin, I was like, I'm sorry, Russia.
Yeah. So it's on the island of Shikoku in Tokushima Prefecture in Japan. I think that's all correct.
That sounds good.
Yeah. So originally this island was populated by around 300 people, or I'm sorry, this village was populated for like 300 people. So the small town that we're used to.
Yeah, I was actually going to be like, oh, that's kind of our roots.
Right, exactly. But due to either young people leaving for more opportunities, because clearly a village of 300 people doesn't have many opportunities.
No.
And of course, there are older people dying. The population dwindled quite a bit. So much so that the population was 35 in 2015.
Hey.
30 in 2016, and 27 by 2019. So, how did it get its name by either the Doll Village or the Scarecrow Village?
Yeah, because those are two very different things.
Yes and no. And you'll see once I tell you about it.
Okay.
So, in 2001, a woman by the name of Tsukimi Ayano, who had originally lived in Nagoro, moved back after spending a lot of her life in Osaka. So
I really like that name, by the way. Tsukimi. I think that's so cute.
I know. And it's kind of precious what she did, and I'll get to it, but it's interesting. So she lived in Nagoro as a child, and then ended up moving to Osaka and spent most of her life there. But she loved her little village that she lived in as a child. But she ended up moving back after becoming an adult to help take care of and just kind of simply help her father. So when she got there by 2001, obviously it wasn't to like 35 people or 27 like it is kind of now.
Right.
But she was really sad to see the population dwindling down like it was. So she felt she felt kind of a sense of loneliness in this village and stuff. So with so few people, I mean, some of the people that she knew had died or they moved on. So her and her dad had a garden that they would take care of. And while helping the garden, Tsukimi made a scarecrow, and she jokingly made it out of her father's likeness. So she like put his clothes on it, the whole nine. So super cute.
That's adorable.
So the local residents loved it. They actually thought sometimes that it was her dad in the mornings. Like,
I love that.
They'll be like, oh, hey. And they're like, oh, that's the scarecrow. So they loved it so much that she started making more of these quote unquote dolls this way. So she makes them out of like cloth and straw. She stuffs them with straw and things like that. And she got the idea to make the dolls in the likeness of the people who have left.
Who live there?
Or died.
Okay.
No. The people who have left or have passed. And it got even to the point where she would even have some of their clothes that she would put on them. Oh yeah, like she got
Wow.
pretty serious. So much so that she has now made over 350 of these dolls
Oh my God.
to date. Yeah. She's went to work.
So do they count as part of the population?
I read somewhere where they're trying to make them part of the population or something, but yeah. No, seriously,
That is so funny.
local residents love it. They absolutely love it.
Well, that's kind of cute, honestly. That's precious and like keeping it kind of almost reminds me of like, oh, that's like in lieu of like a gravestone or something, like something to keep like the memory of these people alive.
Right. And she does upkeep on these dolls as well. So as in like if it's, due to weather and things like that, if something starts to I don't know, I don't want
Like
to say
decay.
decompose, but decay and if it starts to get kind of crappy,
right,
she'll fix it and stuff like that. So what's kind of creepy though is you see them literally all over town, but there was a school there, but it closed in 2012. The school has dolls in there, like kids like sitting waiting for class to start.
So she's taking over the entire town.
The entire town, yeah. So
soon there will be no people and all dolls. This was her goal all along.
Well, like they're at the desk, they're in the hallways just kind of milling about. There's like staff in there. And I even read, so this is kind of cool. I even read that the last students that were there, at least a couple of them, actually made their own dolls, like in their home ec class, something along those lines. So they got to make their own dolls to be in the classroom.
That is hilarious.
I know.
That is honestly kind of cool.
I know. So there's one that is fishing off of a bridge. It's got a fishing pole, like the whole nine. There's a group at the bus stop. There is some dressed as utility workers doing road work. It's amazing. So, like I said, the locals are in love with them and they love everything that she does. And they even get annoyed at visitors and tourists that say that they're creepy, since most of them represent people from the town. I mean, there's a lot. She's made up people as well. It's not old.
Well, of course.
But yeah, so like locals get angry when you're like, oh my gosh, that's creepy. But yeah.
Well, let's see him first. Wait,
so,
do you have a picture of
Tsukimi?
Yeah, do you have a picture of her?
I do. That's
Yay!
The first one.
Okay.
That's the first picture I'm going to be showing you. So that's pretty much everything that I have on that. So the pictures really speak for themselves. So let me share screen. So this is Tsukimi and some of her dolls.
Aw.
So this is her now, obviously. But yeah, so you see, it's probably a child at this, because she makes them like life size.
Life size? Damn.
Oh yeah, they're not just like little dolls that you can hold. They're like life size.
How hilarious would it be if they were tiny dolls doing road work?
Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. So there's that. So like they have like actual faces. And I think when I read an interview that she did where she says that the mouths are the hardest thing for her to do because they show so much expression.
She makes actual lips.
Yeah, she makes actual lips. The nose, the eyes.
I honestly like, okay, with
rosy
these,
cheeks.
Right. Like, I don't think these are that creepy.
Hold on.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So here's a few. So imagine just, walking up and all of a sudden you see this one just laying there.
The one at the top, I would be like so like look at it and be like, oh shit. Oh,
like what are you doing there on the side of the bridge with your bike?
Right. Like, are you peeing?
Yeah.
The way that it's just standing there.
But look at this sweet little old couple, though.
I know, that's
Like, this guy is precious.
that's really precious.
With his little mustache and his cardigan and his, like, sweater. Oh,
His old man cardigan and sweater, and she has, are those gardening gloves or are those her hands?
that's a good question. I think they're gloves.
Okay.
I think they're gloves. I don't know.
I'm sorry for whoever's not watching. I'm sorry. This is terrible podcasting.
Yeah, but you could hear reactions from you because you haven't seen these. But yeah, so here's the school. There's all the kids. I would imagine maybe this is one that one of the kids made. I don't know.
That looks like something from the Goofy movie.
Oh my gosh, it does. It totally does. Like, hey man, why are we always wearing gloves? Any Goofy movie fans out there? Okay, so and then this little kid in the corner, or maybe he got in trouble, I don't know. But yeah, see here, this one at the bottom, you see him all sitting there, and teachers.
I encourage everyone to look these up. Please.
Seriously, like I said, I'll be posting these. But the other thing you can do is you can Google Earth or
go to Japan.
Well, you can go there, but in this time of a pandemic, you can Google Earth, like Street View. You can tour like Street View through this town.
Did you do that?
I haven't, but I saw a picture. But I did see a picture of like a Google Earth Street View thing. So it showed, yeah, you can definitely do it. They did go through the town, so yeah. So that's what I have on Nagoro. So now you know why it is the doll village / Scarecrow Village, because they are kind of like scarecrows. Because straw is what other things are made of.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes a lot more sense now.
Yes.
So, I was like, scarecrow. What?
Well, because that's kind of originally how it started out. Because she made a scarecrow for her dad's garden, and she just made it look like her dad. So yeah,
I do think that's kind of that's precious, because I think if I did that, I think I would do the same thing. I would like steal some of Daddy's Wranglers and one of his trucker hats.
Yep.
And his fucking cowboy boots. Like, look, it's my dad.
And a Harley shirt.
Right? That too.
So,
or a little do-rag that he wears.
Yep. Okay, so next we are going to Key West in Florida, where you can find Robert the Doll.
Yes, Robert the Doll. I didn't know he was in Florida.
He's in Key West, Florida.
Okay.
So the handmade doll.
I know about this guy.
The handmade doll originally was a gift for a 10-year-old boy named Eugene Robert Otto, who everyone called Gene. And this was back in the early 1900s. So this was given to him by a servant who worked for his parents. So Gene named the doll Robert after himself.
Narcissistic.
Like, I was just getting ready to say, Gene. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Named him after himself, and he became very attached to this doll, and he took it everywhere. So shit started going screwy for Gene and his family once Robert made his appearance. So
Did you know how he was made?
I actually don't.
I do. Okay. So I'll
let you do that first.
So this family, like many rich families in the early 1900s, apparently they were assholes. So,
and I'll kind of go into that too.
Yeah, so they were assholes, especially to their servants. So one of the servants gave him this doll, and she practiced.
Okay.
It was either voodoo or Santeria or something of that nature.
Okay, I thought you meant like the things that was made the doll, because I will be talking about that.
Yeah, no. She practiced voodoo or something of that nature. I don't remember quite what it was, but she basically cursed the doll. And there's a list. You can find a list somewhere of like the things that she used. And one of them said something along the lines of like basically like death juice, like like juice from a dead thing, like.
Well,
Yeah,
I thought you
she
were
cursed
actually
it.
going to list the things that she made.
Well, I don't have it memorized, Paige.
Well, because I'm going to talk later once I'm done explaining about Robert the Doll. I was going to tell you more about what people think that she did. I thought you meant like, here's the things that he was made out of. That's why I was like, no,
I don't have the list.
Cloth is all it said. Anyway.
Cloth and dead juice.
Gross.
But basically, yeah, she like supposedly used, and I think she put like blood of a dead man, like, you know, mixing her little potions, cursing this asshole family.
Goodness.
Yeah.
So anyway, shit started going screwy for Gene and his family once Robert made his appearance. So one particular night, Gene woke up and he found Robert sitting and staring at him from the foot of his bed. And then his mom heard Gene yelling, and she heard furniture moving from his bedroom. And then when she went into the room, she found Gene curled up in the fetal position at like the head of his bed, and he was terrified. Robert was sitting there on the end of his bed looking all creepy and shit, because this doll it's creepy.
He's genuinely creepy. But we can't say that, remember, because he's cursed and he'll curse you.
Robert is a nice doll.
And he's so beautiful. But we'll get to the curse part.
But apparently Gene's room was a mess. So all that Gene could say was Robert did it. So basically when anything weird or out of the ordinary or something happened, Gene just blamed Robert. He just said Robert did it.
Little shithead.
So his parents would say that when they would hear Gene playing, they would hear a completely different voice answer him. And it was reported that people would see Robert in different windows of the house just staring at you from inside the house. Like a creep. So years after Gene's parents died, Gene ended up moving back into his childhood home with his wife, Anne. So Gene gave Robert, for some reason, he felt the need to give Robert an entire room of his own upstairs. I think they called it the turret room, I think is what they called it.
I don't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, he made an entire room for that.
An entire room for Robert. So Anne did not like it, Robert, and was
blame her.
Was very creeped out by him.
Also, I would not be thrilled that my fucking husband decided to use an entire room in our fucking house for a doll. That probably smells like shit, by the way.
No kidding.
To be crass.
Seriously. Seriously. I mean, Ryan wants to make a Lego room.
Legos don't smell like shit and they're fun.
But an entire room for one doll. That's it. Anyway. So,
question.
Yes.
Did he fill it with tiny furniture?
I don't know.
Or was it just like regular furniture?
Regular furniture, and he's just sitting there in a rocking chair?
Was it a tiny room full of tiny furniture?
I hope that's the case, because that would be awesome. And if that's the case, then I'd have been okay with it.
With a tiny door.
Like a little hobbit door. Because honestly, the doll seems kind of big, if you ask me.
Oh, it's a big doll.
Yeah, so...
Have you seen it sitting on someone's leg?
Yes. Yeah. I only have 2 pictures to show, but yeah, I did see one. It's a big doll.
Actually, you might not like Ghost Adventures, or you might love it. So, Zach Bagans, the host of that show, he has another show. It's called like Ghost Adventures Artifacts or some shit like that, where he like brings in different pieces for his haunted museum in Vegas, which I tried to go to, but it was not open when I was there.
Dang.
Yeah, so he like brings in different things, and maybe not to sell to him for his museum, but he does have different like haunted things come in, and one of those was Robert the doll.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Anne, she insisted that Jean lock Robert in the attic because she's like, get this fucker out of here. He won't stop staring at me. So
I don't blame her.
So Robert did. Nope. Jean did. Good Lord. So Jean,
Robert went up on his own.
He was like,
damn.
You don't want me down here.
Gonna go upstairs and pout.
Well, apparently he did though, because
go upstairs and pout.
Yes. So Jean locked him in the attic, but like put him in a trunk or put him, I don't know, somewhere in the attic. But a source that I read said he didn't like the attic because they soon after they locked him up there, they would hear footsteps up there and they heard giggling.
Fuck that.
Although, so I
burn it.
I know. Pour salt on it and burn it. Pull a supernatural.
Yeah.
You know, the source said he didn't like Robert didn't like the attic, but after I read that they would hear footsteps and giggling, I go, maybe he did like that up there. I mean, he's walking around giggling, having a good time.
It's dark, it's creepy, it's all what he's about.
He's having a good time up there. I mean, he's really having a good time because neighborhood children would say they would see Robert in the attic window, but that's not where Jean put him. Jean did not put him in the window of the attic. And that's
I got confused. I was like, you just said he put him in the attic.
No, I mean, he didn't put him by the window. He put him somewhere else in the attic.
Okay.
And neighborhood kids would say they would see Robert in the window.
Attic. Yeah.
So Jean goes up to investigate because he's like, no, he's not there because that's not where I put him. Well, he goes up there and he's shocked because there's Robert sitting in the fucking rocking chair there next to the window, like looking out.
First of all, how is he shocked? The kid that grew up with this doll that would supposedly move furniture around, and he's shocked that it's not in the location where he left it.
You know what? Maybe he just blocked all that memory out and was like, I just imagined all that. That was a nightmare. And then he goes up and he's like, maybe it wasn't a nightmare.
Like, that's just childhood trauma that I've put in the back of my head.
Exactly.
Oh.
It doesn't matter how many times Jean would move him away from the window, put him somewhere else, he would always end up back at that fucking window in a rocking chair of all things.
I do not understand why people keep shit like this.
I don't know.
My God.
So Jean just kept him up there though, because eventually the next family who moved into the house, apparently there was a little girl. She was around the same age as Robert. Nope. As Jean. This fucking doll, man. She was the same age as Jean, apparently, when he got the doll. And she was super excited because she found this thing up in the attic. I don't know. I would be like, what the hell is this? Whatever. So she got him down. She played with him. But then she told her parents that Robert wanted to hurt her. And she told them that he would move around her room. So eventually, Robert was given away. Don't know.
From that little girl, I know there was apparently one instance where she swears up and down that he tried to kill her.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, she told him that he told her that he wanted to hurt her. So, yeah. So, eventually, he is now displayed at the East Martello Museum in Key West. So, what I was going to get to when you were like, do you know how he was made? And I'm like, what materials did they use to make him? When in reality, I was getting ready to say that people think Robert was cursed with voodoo or some kind of black magic by the woman who gave Jean the doll because she was mistreated by his parents because they were dicks.
Mm-hmm.
So if you visit Robert the Doll now, you can try to take a picture of him, but some people say that their cameras stop working when they try to take a picture, and then whenever they leave the museum, they start working again. So you can try your best.
One of the big things that I've heard ever since I first heard of Robert the Doll is that you have to ask him permission
To take a
picture. You have to ask him permission to take a picture, and it's supposed it's so stupid. If he moves, it's a no. And if he's still, that means yes. Apparently.
So how long do you have to wait?
I don't fucking know, man.
Like, is it a minute?
Because that museum where he is people will go to this museum, take a picture of him or make fun of him like in his presence. Right. And then like later they'll go home wherever they're from, and they supposedly will experience like trauma, or their life just starts going down the tubes because Robert supposedly cursed them for being shitty to him. So that museum gets a lot of letters that people will write to Robert asking for forgiveness for cursing them.
Oh,
I'm not even kidding, dude.
Goodness. Well, maybe
that's a thing.
Okay, so maybe those are the letters that are posted up around
displayed around him.
Okay, yep. Because when it's one of the pictures I'm going to show, it has there's a ton of papers and stuff displayed around him, so that's probably what that is.
Yes, so that's what that is. People will write into the museum and ask Robert for forgiveness.
I'm sorry I called you creepy and stupid.
I'm sorry I took your picture without your permission.
Because, after you moved, I just decided
I want to know who asked him and he moved to say no. I want to know what that is from.
And how do you know that means no? Like, when he moves, does he just, like, flip you off? I mean... Could you imagine? I really hope that's the case. Oh, we needed this.
Could you imagine if he did a double? Like, that's fuck no.
Oh my goodness. So here's my thing about Gene and Robert as a pair. Robert just sounds
I'm still crying.
Robert. Gene honestly just sounds like a little shithead who was doing shit and
then blaming it on his doll.
And my thing is too, the whole his parents heard him playing, and then they heard a completely different voice answer him type of thing. You did that shit.
I did.
You totally did. So, I mean,
I can still do that too. Here's the thing. I'm very good at impressions. So if I were in a room and you heard two separate voices, I can definitely do that. That's not an issue.
That's just your two personalities.
It really is.
But yeah, so that's my thing because there was so much of this and I was like, that Peyton kind of did that. Like, and all of his mom comes in and, all of his furniture is moved or like things are strewn about his room. Oh, Robert did it. Oh, okay. All right, Jane. So anyway, I'm going to show you Robert the Doll. I'm going to share my screen. Not in the meeting. Sorry. I almost did
Please don't do that.
I almost did it. Okay. So this is Robert the Doll. who apparently has a doll of his own.
Yeah.
For some reason.
People bring him gifts too.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. But
Also,
he looks like he's a little sailor.
Well, I was going to say that or a nurse.
Oh, yeah, that's
it's an anchor.
Anchor. Yeah, he's a sailor.
With a nurse's hat.
No, it's a little sailor hat. They have the little white caps.
No, it's a nurse's hat.
It's not.
I will post
these on Facebook.
Does he actually have fingers?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Because now I want to know if he flips people.
So there's Robert. So yeah, so there's all the letters, and I guess that people send
people
to him.
will write to him.
Yeah.
And be like, Robert, I lost my house. My girlfriend dumped me and I wrecked my car. Please forgive
this
me.
curse that you have bestowed upon me.
I'm not even kidding. People will write to him like that.
Okay, but seriously, when I share these on Facebook, you tell me whether you think that is a nurse's hat or it's an actual sailor's cap, because I think it's a sailor's cap. Like,
I think he kind of looks like a little nurse.
No, he doesn't. No. Let me go back to number 1, the first picture. No, that's a little sailor's outfit, like a Navy dude.
Yeah, his outfit does, but the hat kind of looks like a little nurse's hat.
That's where you're wrong.
That's fine.
So
I can just write to him and ask him.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it was that little furniture in that room. You don't know. I don't either. So, all right.
Sitting in a little chair.
Yep.
Just chilling.
Just sitting there.
Leaning back.
Cross his feet like that, all comfortable and shit. Okay.
Holding his little baby doll.
So the next place that we are going to go is Lisbon, Portugal, where you will go see the Hospital de Bonecas. Basically, it is a doll hospital. So this is another thing that starts out so wholesome, and it's so precious, and it's really cool.
Oh, it is?
Well, the whole story about this doll hospital is really cool.
Because I don't like the idea of healing them to make them better. The dolls.
No, the whole story is very wholesome.
Okay.
And really kind of cool. But then whenever you think about it, I don't want to go there. Okay, so let me just tell you, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
So this starts back in 1830, actually.
Oh, okay.
With a woman named Carlotta da Silva Luz. Everyone called her Miss Carlotta, which I love.
I love that.
I love it. So cute. So she would sit on her stoop and make dolls for the local children. I'm telling you. How cute. I told you this is so wholesome.
Is she a little old lady?
It never actually said, but that's just what I'm picturing.
Why am
In my head.
I'm picturing the Tuppence lady from Mary Poppins.
Right?
Making dolls.
So she, like I said, she'd be making the dolls for the kids around town, and eventually the kids started bringing her their dolls to fix. And she'd do everything she could to fix their dolls. Oh. I know. Literally. So
my heart.
She was literally acting like a doctor. Like the angel that she was.
Oh. That's so cute.
I know. Oh. So she became so popular that she was actually able to open an actual doll hospital. So that's where this begins. So it's been owned now by the same family for the past almost 200 years, and it's still going strong today. So, like,
oh my God.
In 9 years, it's going to be 200 years old.
That's amazing.
So, like, the 4th generation of the family owns it today. Yeah. I know.
That is so cool.
I know.
Okay.
So the waiting list now.
I'm hating on this much less than I was when you first said it. Okay.
it's gonna be creepy again once I show you pictures and tell you more about
I'm
it. So-
sure, but
But as of right now, that's why I'm telling you, it's so wholesome and it's so cute. I just love it. But so now the waiting list for a surgery on one of your dolls can be up to 4 months.
oh my god,
Yeah. So
that's like for real people.
it's like legit. They have operating tables. They have like charts on the tables to say who the doll is, who it belongs to, what they need. They'll fix any type of doll. Like they're even like Barbies nowadays and stuff like that. They're fixing.
Oh my god.
They are even into like stuffed animals and things like that. They focus on dolls. Obviously, it's the doll hospital, but they'll like all of your kind of stuffed toys and dolls and things like that.
Oh,
I know. So
my heart.
Although there are actually other doll hospitals in the world, this one has treated dolls from literally across the globe.
Well, if it's been around for 200 years, I can imagine.
So the woman, I saw an interview with the woman that owns it now, and she can tell you, she's like, typically, especially old dolls, she can tell where they came from. Like if it was a Spanish doll or a French doll or something along those lines.
Whereas, I mean, these people have become experts in their field.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing is, though, and it says that she is hoping when she retires that her kids will take over as well. I know. So the thing is, though, she goes, nowadays it's pretty much everything's made in China, so you don't get you can't really tell what part of the world it's from, but especially in the older dolls, you can tell where they came from, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So the thing is, this hospital is a combination of hospital, toy shop, and museum, because over the years, obviously, they've been able to collect a huge assortment of all different types of dolls. If someone didn't come to pick up their doll, it'd get added to the museum. Oh. There are dolls there that are over 100 years old. So, yeah, super cool. So now for the spooky part. Because this is a doll hospital, there is a part that is full of spare parts of dolls. Jesus, I can't talk. So, like, they call these the donors because they're in pieces.
Kind of like being an organ donor. I get it.
Yep. So there's cabinets full of just doll heads, arms, legs, bodies. And I also read somewhere that there's like an assorted chocolate type box that's actually just full of rows and rows of eyes. Okay. Yeah, so it's kind of nightmare-inducing, if you ask me. So let me show you this nightmare-inducing things.
Please.
Because it's intense. So here's picture number 1. So all I see is a bunch of legs and arms, and there's a few heads there. Those are kind of the same thing. Yeah, hair. Just this random one that's on its side that's kind of a bust and a head. So that's not the real creepy one. Hold on.
Oh, I was actually going to say, like, that's not that bad.
This is.
Ew.
Yeah.
Oh, that one's got, like, nipples and breasts and everything.
Oh, yeah, that's legit. That's like.
That's a mannequin. That's not a doll.
Well, they treat all shapes and sizes.
Okay.
And here's just a few hands sticking up here. Reminds me of like a hand coming out of like a grave. Yeah. This is a monkey, it looks like, over here. Something. Yeah. And then there is that.
That's a little more.
That's weird. This one in the corner here is like photobombing almost. It's like she's just like sticking her face in. So this last one, though, if you have a fear of clowns, you might want to skip over this one. Because there's some clowns.
Oh, wow. I love how they're... It's like someone turned them towards you on purpose.
Well, I'm sure they did because they need to see what they're getting into.
I mean, true.
But, like, the face is just staring out. It's just creepy. Like, I wouldn't want to go there. I wouldn't want to go there. No, thank you. So, yeah.
That's amazing.
I know, but isn't the story, though, just amazing?
I love that. That is so wholesome and so, like, so built out of love.
I know, just sitting there on her stoop, just a sewing away. Gosh, I love it.
Dixon dolls.
So my last one, let me just verify that is my last one. Yes, because I have the most pictures from this next one. So this one's not necessarily creepy. I could see how it would be creepy to some people, but to me and my morbid ass, I think it's awesome.
Okay.
So I'm going to be talking about the nutshell studies of unexplained death. So I'm like, is that actually what it's called? Yes, it is. So it's not a place necessarily. And not necessarily creepy, like I said, maybe to some, but not to me. But to explain this, what I have to do is tell you about a woman named Frances Glesner Lee. She was born in Chicago in 1878.
Hey.
So basically, this woman was a complete badass.
Okay.
She grew up loving Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
And she loved that it was always the little details that solved the cases.
Yes.
The little missed details. So she made it her life's work to figure out how detectives examine clues to solve cases.
Yes.
I'm telling you, this woman is awesome because she and a good friend of hers, who actually was the chief medical examiner in Boston, they lobbied to have coroners replaced with medical professionals. Which, I mean, you kind of should be. You kind of need to know the basic, is this person dead or not? You really need to kind of know that.
Yeah.
So she basically started the Harvard Department of Legal Medicine in 1931, which was the first of its kind.
Damn.
She also helped the Harvard Associates in Police Science, a national organization for the furtherance of forensic science that has a division dedicated to her, called the Frances Glesner Lee Homicide School. And they did
Homicide School? Oh
they
my
did this
God.
and dedicated this to her for the work that I'm about to tell you about.
Okay.
So she was also made an honorary captain in the New Hampshire State Police on October 27th, 1943, which made her the first woman to join the International Association of Chiefs of Police. So yeah, she's a badass.
She's a badass.
I want to be this woman.
I want to get her tattooed on my freaking arm.
No kidding. So in the 40s and 50s, she made the nutshell studies of unexplained death. What they are is they were 20 different dioramas of perfectly exact replicas of crime scenes that she had been to. Amazing.
Oh my God, I know about this woman. I didn't know that was her name.
Yes. So every single detail, down to like turned over glasses.
She put in the diorama. Yes.
Working working mouse traps in and it was like perfectly to scale too. So like working mouse traps, locks on doors that actually worked, food that was in the kitchen, the whole nine, like the wallpaper, the carpet, everything.
Yeah.
She even got all of the victims, all the details of the victims correct. The discoloration, blood spatter, if there was any bloating, positioning, the whole nine, again, to scale. So each model, though, costs like $3,000 to $4,000, like $3,000 to $4,500 to make. Now, this was back in the 30s. So if you can imagine, if you can imagine how much.
What is that today?
Well, hold on a second. Let me look. Like $51,000.
Oh my God.
Almost $52,000.
Oh my God. That's bananas.
Yeah. But seriously, her attention to detail is unreal.
Oh yeah.
So what she would do is she would hold week-long conferences where detectives, prosecutors, and investigators, so they would come and examine, inspect, and try to solve the case. So a lot of these were students, but I mean, like notable ones would come to these conferences as well. So it said that they had like 90 minutes or something like that to examine everything with just like a flashlight and try to look at everything and try to figure out what happened. They would have to look at all the details because that's her biggest thing. No detail is too small. So 18 of the dioramas are still used for training purposes by Harvard Associates in Police Science.
That's amazing.
I know. I want to see these so bad.
Are they in Boston?
I guess. I mean, it's Harvard, so I would imagine
Boston, yes.
I would imagine that's where they are.
Yeah.
I don't know that they would have it anywhere else since it's a Harvard thing.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
I also saw that a lot of them went under restorations, like in the 90s or something like that.
Yeah.
But 18 of them out of the 20 are still used today. So she is allegedly the inspiration for Jessica Fletcher in Murder, She Wrote, which I love.
That's amazing. I love that so much.
I never found anything that confirmed that, but that was alleged in a couple places that I saw.
Love that.
So I found a website called deathindiorama.com, DeathinDiorama.com. It is so cool because it shows you a few of the different dioramas.
Yeah.
And it has interactive pictures. So when you click on one of them, it brings it up and shows the scene. But then what you can do, it has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like over the picture if you hover your mouse over the picture. And if you click on one of them, it'll enhance that part of the it enhances
Yes.
It's so cool. Seriously.
Oh my God. And they even have like little pinpoints of.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So okay. Now I got to screen share.
They'll have like the date, deceased, witness, and then like his testimony.
Yes. Yep. So let me screen share. I'll show you. So this first one, I have to just show you her because there she is making her little stuff. I mean, she also, and this is in no offense whatsoever, looks like kind of a crabby old lady.
She does.
I love
that even more.
And I aspire to be someday. So I mean, just sitting there making a little spindle type of deal. That's
and I bet she has an old Chicago accent too, since she grew up in Chicago. Can you imagine?
Love it. So the second one is her next to one of her dioramas, so you can actually see kind of the scale. And I think this is actually at one of her conferences that she did. So it's in there. I think it's maybe a bathroom. I don't know. So
maybe it's just the time, but she kind of looks like she's in a house coat.
Almost.
You know?
Yeah. Old people, right?
Right. Like she wants to be as comfortable as possible.
Hey, I get it.
I do too.
So this is just one of her dioramas. I mean, it looks like the walls have been there forever. You see it almost looks like mold here at the top. Some clothing. Here's the victim here on the floor. There's a knife there next to her.
And I love, like, there's even a chair in the corner and you can see like details from the fabric of the chair.
Yes. The couch, the curtains, the working light. I mean, come on. This is amazing.
That
Absolutely
is so
amazing.
Cool.
So here is that one. So that's a kitchen. So
this is the one that I looked at on my phone.
Yeah. So this one you can see over here on the sink, there's like a cutting board with an loaf of bread and stuff on it that it enhances for you. There's an ironing board there, the basket next to it. I mean, victim over here by the fridge. Looks like an ice tray. Her detail is amazing.
Oh my god.
So like I said, might be kind of creepy to somebody, but I think these are absolutely amazing.
I think it's fascinating.
It is.
Yeah, but we're also fucked.
You are not wrong.
Yeah.
So, and this one, the final picture I've got here. So it shows the bedroom. It shows 2 victims. There's blood spatter. I mean, you can even see almost looks like footsteps or something.
Yeah, and you
here.
can see the blood spatter on the wall by the bed too.
On the wall over here.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
I'm telling you. Turn
How
over
long?
chair.
How long did these take to make?
I didn't see an exact time, but they definitely took a long time. I mean, clearly, if it took almost $4,500, which would be like $50,000 now to actually make, yeah.
Oh,
but
that's crazy.
Everything worked. That's the other thing that's so amazing. Everything in the house worked. There were locks on the doors. You could lock the doors. The lights in the house, they worked. If there was a lamp, the freaking lamp worked. Everything.
That's so cool.
Amazing. So yeah,
Awesome.
That's what I've got for you. So that's all about dolls. Creepy ones, fun ones, awesome ones, and wholesome ones. I got a little bit of everything.
The whole spectrum.
A little bit of everything all sprinkled in there.
Oh yeah. Well, that was fun. We definitely needed this after the last few weeks of just having like rough cases.
Bad ones, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But don't worry. There'll be more really rough ones in the future.
There'll be more wuff ones.
Wuff ones in the future. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
We'll get back to the murders in a couple weeks.
Yeah. So, in the meantime, you can follow us on Facebook
at 2K away.
And you can follow us on Instagram at 2K away podcast. We have a YouTube channel that you can see all these pictures and see pretty pig faces. It's 2K away podcast, and we have a Gmail. You can email us, say hello or suggest something.
Or tell us if Robert's hat is from the Navy or a nurse.
Or if you've been cursed by Robert himself.
Yeah, if you've been cursed, yeah. We want to know about it.
Our Gmail is 2kawaypodcast@gmail.com. Every time you type 2K, it's the number 2. And if you would like to do a little something for us, you can give us a review and rate us on Apple Podcast. We would greatly appreciate that because that helps people get to know us and that gets us a little higher in the ranks so that we can be recognized a little bit more.
Yes.
So, thank you for joining us this week on
we hope you enjoyed it.
Yes, our little adventure around the world with creepy and cool dolls.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. We will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.